to my kitchen. I'm Steve, and on this episode of Cooking with Love, I'm going to be showing you how to make a traditional Irish lamb stew. With St. Patrick's Day just around the corner, I want to share with you a meal that your family will truly enjoy. Corned beef and cabbage is commonly served here in the United States, but it's not served in Ireland. They would serve dishes like a cottage pie or shepherd's pie or Irish lamb stew. All right, let's get started. The ingredients to make our Irish stew is lamb, and this is leg of lamb that has been cleaned and cut into about 1-inch cubes. Potatoes that are peeled and cut into bite-sized pieces. Onions sliced. Carrots that are cut into bite-sized pieces. Some Irish bacon. Now, these are also called rashers. You can get this at a specialty store like a UK import store or even online. However, if you don't want to use the Irish bacon, you could substitute Canadian bacon. We need a little bit of pepper and salt for seasoning the lamb. We have beef broth. I'm using beef broth because I don't have lamb broth. If I had the bone from the leg of lamb, I could make a lamb broth from it, but beef broth does just fine. A little bit of flour for dredging the lamb in. We have some garlic. We have some rosemary and some thyme. We also need some butter for frying, some Irish oatmeal or porridge oats, and this is used to fortify the stew and to help thicken it up. All right, let's start putting this together. The first step is to season and flour our lamb meat. I'm going to just use a little bit of salt. And some pepper. This fresh ground pepper. And now we're going to flour the lamb. I'm just dredging it into the flour mix. Next, we're going to cut our rashers into small slices. I'm going to set our pot on medium, and we're going to melt the butter. Now that the butter is melted, we're going to brown our cut rashers. And we want to make sure they're cooked till they're crispy and brown. The bacon is cooked down. We're going to be removing it from the pan and put it aside. Leave behind all the drippings. And now we're going to fry the lamb. Once the meat has been browned, add your garlic and onions. And we're going to cook them until they get soft and a little translucent. Next, we're going to sprinkle our oats on the stew and give it a stir and allow this to cook for about 2 minutes. Now we're going to add in our potatoes and carrots. And we're going to add a little more seasoning, a little salt and pepper for the potatoes and carrots. Stir them in, let them cook for 3 or 4 minutes. Now we're going to add our rosemary, the thyme, our bacon that was previously cooked, I'm going to give that a mix. And we're going to add our beef stock. We're going to put it on low and cover it and let it simmer at least 2 hours until the meat and the vegetables are fork tender. The stew is finished. It's been simmering for about 3 hours. We're going to be serving it with some fresh made Irish brown bread. With me today is my wife Iris and my brother-in-law Iris's brother Brian. And I twisted their arm and they agreed to taste the stew. All right, let's dig in. Yeah, a little brown bread.
Taste the stew first. Oh, it's very good.
Yeah, the vegetables and the meat is very tender.
Yeah, that's a nice flavor.
So this is a good family dish. It's a good alternative to corned beef and cabbage for St. Patrick's Day. Iris, how common would you say Irish stew is on a menu in Ireland?
It's fairly common.
And how often do you see corned beef and cabbage?
I've never seen it on
Yeah.
a menu in Ireland.
Yeah, it's really not an American dish. It's not an Irish dish. It's an American dish.
The brown bread is excellent.
Thank you.
It's good enough that you don't need to dip into the stew.
I'll include the link for how to make your own Irish brown bread in the description below. All right, well, we'll see you on the next episode of Cooking with Love. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Oh.
Our Irish lamb stew is finished. It's been simmering.
Cut.
What?
'Cause